Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the celebrating 85 years with Ghost Rider, the Danny Ketch version of Ghost Rider. So this one is exciting. We've gotten 3 different Johnny Blaze figures in the recent past, over the last, oh gosh, actually almost like 10 years now. 3 Johnny Blaze figures. We had a Frank Castle Cosmic Ghost Rider, but here now we have Danny Ketch. So in the 85th anniversary of Marvel, this premium line for the fall season, this is what we have. Very excited to get this one. As you can see, we got the celebrating 85 years up there. We got some awesome artwork of Danny Ketch there on the side. It's going to be difficult to see. As you can see, it is a very, very wide box, so we can't really get a look at it. But on the back, we actually get a couple different looks at the motorcycle and the figure and stuff. We get a bio, which is cool, and it says, when Danny Ketch crosses paths with a cursed motorcycle, he is transformed into the spirit of vengeance, wielding supernatural powers as Ghost Rider. So heads up, I got mine from Amazon, but Big Bad Toy Store is now processing pre-orders, so I got one coming there. I did not cancel it. So links in the video description below to get your this Danny Ketch Ghost Rider wherever you get your action figures. So whether it's Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, Entertainment Earth, I'll have links in the video description for you, because I think this is going to be a really, really fun one. So let's go ahead and get all these pieces out of the package and put it together. Okay, so a little bit of the unboxing process here with the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. As you can see, we got the figure and the motorcycle in the front. We got the extra accessories. We get that that flame chain there. We get an extra set of hands, and then kind of in this other tray there, we get those flame effect pieces that kind of hold the motorcycle in place, and you can kind of do some burnouts and things like that. So this is definitely going to be a really fun one. There is some assembly required. As you can see, we have handlebars here, so I will try and show that on video so you guys can see what pieces need to come together. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so there's some assembly required. It's not a whole lot. There are no instructions, but it seems simple enough, I think. So basically here we have the feet stands, or the footrests, and that just plugs in on the bottom of the motorcycle there. You just pop that in, and bam, secure on there. Nice and easy, right? Not a whole lot going on with that. Real easy to do. We've got the handlebar, so we're going to put the handlebar on there. We got actually printed speedometer on there. I gotta say, Danny Ketch needs to fill up on some gas. As you can see, he is almost empty, so irresponsible, I would say. Although I oftentimes run the tank down quite a bit. That just pegs right on in there. So it does turn. It does not turn the wheels in any way. These wheels do not turn. The old motorcycles were able to kind of turn there, but these handlebars do not. They are pretty soft rubber, as you could see there. A little too much give to them, I think. And then here, that front guard for the motorcycle, it looks like it's just going to slide onto there. So as you can see there, it's got that piece there. It's just going to slide right on into place. And snaps in like so, and bam, there we go. One tricky thing is this motorcycle will not stand up on its own. You kind of lean to the side a little bit with those footrests, but that's where these bad boys come in, because these, I wonder, like, is this supposed to be for the back one? Does that matter? The wheels, oh yeah, the wheels in the rear are bigger than the wheel in the front, so you could do something like that, and bam, you have your Hellcycle with the flames on there as it's riding through. So that is a really nice touch. I like that. Again, wheels in the back are much bigger than the wheel in the front, so that is really nice. You have that flame effect as if it's riding through or on fire. This stand piece connects to, which one does it connect to? Oh, the stand piece actually goes onto the bike itself, there, like so. So you could have that lift up a little bit, so you can still do that sort of thing as he's jumping up, right? Doing a wheelie or about to do some stunts or ride in. So you can do that. So that is pretty cool too. Definitely a nice touch. Okay, so as I was looking more, like the footrests, I'm like, oh, they peg in right at the bottom of the motorcycle there. Well, it turns out there's also another spot here, so I don't know which one is technically the right way or how you should have it, or if this is just like for your different options of how you want to do it. So you could do the footrests there. You guys let me know. Maybe it makes more sense, like when it's up on the flame, piece there that you have the footrest there, so they're not on fire. I don't know. You guys let me know which one is the correct one. I'm gonna have to go to like Hasbro Pulse or something and look at the official images and see where the footrests are supposed to be. But it has the 2 different spots, so you could do it in either one. I just don't know if one is supposed to be more accurate than the other, so I'll have to check that out. This thing is so much fun. Really cool. So I looked up images on Hasbro Pulse. It looks like the footrests are definitely there as opposed to the other spot. So I wonder, like, why even have this here? Unless I'm missing something. So I'm a little confused. So it's there, and you could do that also, right? It also makes sense. So I'm not sure why, again, they have the footrests in different spots. I think it's actually a little bit tricky. I guess it doesn't allow for enough space, so I think maybe if he's just regular riding it, that could work. But if you need to get it in certain poses, you might, flare him out, his legs out a little bit more, and then having the footrest there makes a little bit of sense. But again, I looked up the official images on Hasbro Pulse, and it does show the footrest on that more forward position. So whichever place you want to have them, you are able to do that. So it just kind of depends there. But this guy is a lot of fun. Danny Ketch does seem a bit small, however. I know that was some of the feedback that I've heard from others. I haven't watched a full review, but that is something that I heard. So much like Warbird, that just seems a little undersized. It makes sense. Shout out to Shartimus Prime. He actually asked Dwight Stahl specifically in his interview at Comic-Con, like why Danny Ketch and Warbird were actually a little undersized. And Dwight Stahl said that scaling is something that they are looking into, and they wanted to properly scale Warbird and Danny Ketch because the Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze figures were just too tall based on that old Star-Lord / AIM soldier body. So we'll do the side-by-side comparisons and see, how much shorter Danny Ketch is compared to other figures. It may be significant, so just a heads up on that. But I guess the idea there was that they were looking into scale. The thing about it is, though, Hasbro has never been great at scale. They really have not. So I would almost just say, don't even think about scale because Hasbro's not going to get it right. Your figures are not all going to scale properly to each other. It would be awesome if they did, and they could do that, but they don't do they don't do it, or they have not done that. Maybe they'll do that now, but they're not going to redo every single figure so we have everything properly in scale. So just a heads up there. But so far, just initially, this Danny Ketch Ghost Rider and the Hellcycle are just a whole lot of fun. The Hellcycle is pretty damn awesome. So really fun. So let's go ahead and get a close-up look at Danny Ketch, and then we'll get some close-up looks at the Hellcycle. We'll get some details like in the tires and stuff like that, because, man, it is awesome. Okay, so here's something that's awesome. Look at Danny Ketch's eyes. He's got like that spiral look in there. Hopefully that comes off nicely in the camera. That looks incredible, especially to be able to get that printed detail inside kind of the eye sockets in there. Is pretty awesome. Now, one thing that I thought, it was like, of course, it's got to be new head sculpt, right? I think it's actually the same head sculpt that we had for the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider figures, which is a little disappointing. I would have thought, new Ghost Rider, it's a different version of Ghost Rider, that, hey, maybe we will get a brand new head sculpt. But it looks like we did not. And I need to confirm that with a good side-by-side comparison. Man, look at the size difference between the two. That is a bit crazy. So, it looks to me like they are the same. So look, maybe the hair is the same, maybe the heads are different. So it looks like the heads, the skull heads, are going to be different. I'm like looking at the curvature of that jaw, right? So the articulated jaw, see how very rounded there it is? And then on here, it's not so rounded. But it looks like the hair itself is the same, and then that neck flame piece looks to be the same in there, but the skull head itself does look different. Now, it is a little bit hard to tell, but again, just in that jawline, the curvature there looks different. So otherwise, it's pretty similar. I'm looking at like the eye socket, the teeth, the lower jaw. It looks like this jaw is just a little bit more squared right there at that chin compared to this Johnny Blaze version. So I definitely do think we've got different heads in there, but the flame is the same piece. So the flame's the same piece. On this Rider's version, we didn't get the neck bone painted in there whatsoever, but like the looking at the retro, and I didn't grab the other Ghost Rider figure, but it looks like, again, it's going to be that same neck piece that's in there, because it looks like this one we did get that neck bone in there painted. So we got this version of Johnny Blaze, which essentially was like Danny Ketch, but they're like, no, it's Johnny Blaze. But anyway, yeah, so Danny Ketch looking really good. We have new parts to him. I think this is going to be almost all new or completely new. We get the chain around his torso there. We got the leather jacket. We got the spikes on the shoulders there. We got the spikes on the wrists. His glove, he has the spikes on the right hand only, not the left hand. So the extra accessories that he comes with a fist for the right, and then he has an open hand for the left, and then just grip hands there for the right and left, which you can use for either the flame chain or, you know, obviously gripping onto the handlebars of the bike. And then he's got like the spike and chain belt there. He's got the gray pants there. They seem like they got a little bit of texture to them. We got spikes around his left boot, and then we just have the boots here. One thing about these legs, they're new, and they actually have drop down hips on there. So interesting that they were able to do that. And you know, for somebody that needs to ride a motorcycle, I think that could be part of the reason why they did that. But you know, I hate to argue over just additional articulation, right? It wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, Danny Ketch looks really good. Now let's go ahead and get in for some closer looks at the Hellcycle. Okay, so I'm trying to best figure out how I could do this for you guys to see, but I wanted to show you guys kind of the gauges on there. So we have the speedometer, the tachometer, and the fuel gauge. So he is almost empty. Looks like he's kind of redlining it and going about, what is that, 110 miles per hour or so there. So that is pretty cool. We get the brake grips, as you can see there, and then we get the wire that comes through. So that's actually a nice touch on there. But again, it is very rubbery in there. You can get some twist and turn in there. It does nothing to the actual wheels or anything like that, just so you know. The right side of the motorcycle is kind of the back side, quote unquote, where you could see they had kind of plugged in where screws would be. So it's not like the pretty side. The left side is kind of the pretty side with the cleaner panels and things like that. You kind of have an opening there, so you can kind of see some engine work. Inside, it's just kind of a silverish plastic color in there. And then under the front wheel, you could see kind of some of the inner workings of the motorcycle. It's probably a little hard to tell with lighting and things in there. So that is cool. I like the wheels. We kind of get some frosted paint in here to kind of show the burning effect. And that's just something that we see a lot more so on the right side. As you can see there, it's very heavy. I mean, the left side, excuse me, of the wheel. The right side has it a little bit. It just doesn't seem like it's done as much, in my opinion. But I guess it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, they definitely did it. It's much more noticeable, it seems, on the left side. It's weird. I think on camera it looks to be pretty good. In person, like in the bright lights, it doesn't look as good. So it's kind of weird. The padded leather seating, as you can see there, it's just kind of a brownish red color. Here in the front, that kind of front shield portion, as you can see, there's some weathering in there. Some paint work would have been nice, like if they added some silver paint to show like scuff and scrapes and things in there. That would have been nice. The sculpt itself was really cool when they could do the weathering, but again, adding in some paint detail I think would have been a really nice touch to do in there. So there we go. Let me move these the footrests onto the other spot, because again, that's how all the other images showed it in the other spot. But you know, we have the options to kind of do it. And then again, we have the two wheel effect pieces, and then each one, you know, the larger wheel in the back, you get the larger flame piece, and the way it works, it fits in there. And then we kind of have some curved out parts in the flame, so for the rim, it just sets in there actually quite nicely. So as you can see, you can move it around in there nice. And then for the front, kind of the same thing, fits in there quite nicely. We have the flame stand, because you have that peg there. It's kind of a squarish peg. It's kind of shaped a particular way, and you can port that in there, and then you can have it, you know, lifting up there, which kind of doubles as a stand for it. There, it works best when you have the flame piece in there and it's kind of ported in there, and you could do that. So that is really cool. The flames itself look really good, just orange translucent plastic. You know, and kind of some of the flames where it kind of flares out. They didn't add paint to it, but because it gets all thin, the lighting changes, so it looks like there's different colors in the flame, but it is all just the plastic translucent orange color there. So nice touch. The last bit of accessory piece is the flame chain that we've seen many times over. It is the same piece. Over time, this will kind of droop down, but still looks pretty good. As you can see, it kind of transitions into the translucent orange, which is nice, and then you got like the silver paint that's on there. So that's pretty cool. So that is Danny Ketch. Now let's go ahead and see Danny Ketch's articulation. The articulation in the Hellcycle is just the wheels turn, the handlebars turn, but won't actually turn the front wheel. Okay, so Danny Ketch's articulation. The head is on just a ball joint, I believe. Let me pop the head. Yeah, just the ball joint. So all the movement is just going to be, you know, how you can move that head around on that ball joint. So there's going to be a little bit of pivot, but looking up is definitely a challenge. He really can't do it. Looking down, you can do that a little bit. The jaw is articulated as well. So I got it down. Why can't I get it up? There you go. You can have a closed mouth. You can open it, close, open, close. The shoulder, you can get the arm to go straight on out and upwards a little bit there. Full rotation in there. You got an upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow, gives you that much bend there at the elbow. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands. We have an ab crunch on this guy, so he can crunch forward that much, decent amount, and go back that far amount. It feels a little loose. It's not like super wobbly or anything, but I feel like the torso does feel a little loose, but again, it doesn't flop around or anything like that. Legs go out that far apart. We do have the drop down hip, so there is all the way up, and then you could drop him down that far, as you can see there. He can kick forward very high, which is good because he's got to be able to sit on that motorcycle. Leg goes back a tiny bit. You got that upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there. Quite nice. We got a boot swivel right at the top of the boot. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up, but the foot hits that top piece, so you got to work it a little bit so you can hinge up. You got ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So pretty good articulation. I'm happy with it. We'll see some side-by-side comparisons here soon to see how he measures up to other characters. So I think that's where some concern may be, but otherwise Danny Ketch moves around quite nicely there. So I'm really liking it. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. Okay, so here's the side-by-side comparison with the Johnny Blaze figures and the Danny Ketch. When you look at these, you're like, uh-oh, something don't look right, because Johnny Blaze is so much taller than Danny Ketch. It looks kind of ridiculous. And part of that is going to be because Johnny Blaze has got some long-ass lower legs. Those boots are pretty long. The upper thighs, probably not, but it's just those lower boots are very long, and that makes him significantly taller. And I haven't done this yet, but let's see how he looks next to some other 6-inch figures to see how he sizes up. So we have Iron Patriot, which may not be the best side-by-side comparison because it's supposed to be a dude in a big metal suit. So yeah, Iron Patriot's taller. The scary thing is like shoulder to shoulder where the difference is, so that's kind of crazy looking. Taskmaster with the Vulcan body, that is a pretty tall body, so let's see kind of how that looks. And there we go, that's a little bit more like it. Like the shoulder length is almost the same, so that's definitely better in terms of scaling, so it doesn't worry me as much when we start to see something like that. But let's bring out some more 85th anniversary. We got the Superior Spider-Man. So this should be kind of your typical 6-inch Marvel Legends action figure there. And if you look, Danny Ketch seems to be right on track in terms of size with Spider-Man. So that's looking good so far. We got another one. So this is going to be Iron Fist, which should be kind of around the same height as the Superior Spider-Man. So if you look at that there, if anything, Iron Fist's shoulders actually seem a little bit lower than Danny Ketch's. So that's not so bad. Let's bring out the Astonishing Wolverine there. And of course, he's smaller than Danny Ketch, as he should be. Let's bring out Luke Cage. Luke Cage is going to be way taller because Luke Cage is a bigger figure for sure, as you can see there. So I think Danny Ketch actually scales pretty well. So yes, when you look at him next to Johnny Blaze, you're like, oh, well, that's disappointing. But then you think Johnny Blaze is actually a little taller than he probably should be. And then we have the Target exclusive Warbird there, who is undersized, and she is pretty tiny compared to Danny Ketch there. So I think they went a little too smaller. Now, Dwight says they went for scale in terms of Warbird to other characters. But again, I think they went probably a little too small. Still a really good figure, but yeah, a little undersized. So you guys let me know what you guys think of the size of Danny Ketch. In my opinion, he looks pretty good. I don't think he's undersized. You just can't do a comparison with Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze is too tall. Too damn tall. That's all it is. That's where the problem is. But if you guys think differently, let me know. Okay, so side-by-side comparisons of the two Ghost Riders on their motorcycles. And this new one really just kind of blows away the old one. The old one is still really nice. Like, I don't want anybody to think that this one is trash and it's no good. This one is still very, very good. But man, this new one, it's just so much better in every way. Like the massive flame effect pieces for the under the wheels are just really, really nice. The bike itself is just bulky. It's heavy. Yeah, there's some hollow pieces in there, but it looks good. If anything, some flame effects under like these eye holes would have been nice there, but it just looks really good. Danny Ketch sits on it a little bit better. Like Johnny Blaze sits on here, but as you can see, he's really straight up. You can get him to, I guess, kind of lean over there. Oh yeah, I guess that's not as bad, but yeah, it's just not as good. The flame effect pieces are cool that we had, but we had to put like a lot of different pieces onto there and stuff. It's just the new one is so much nicer. Again, the old one is nice, but I just love these flame effect pieces for the wheels. This is just so nice there, and the fact that we get this stand piece on there is just a really nice touch as well. So again, you know, you could port that in there like he's doing kind of a wheelie, as you can see there. If he's going into like attack mode, you got that, and you know what, that's just a really, really nice touch. Okay, so that is my review of the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider with Hellcycle as part of the Marvel 85 years anniversary line this year. Amazing figure. The Hellcycle is awesome. The Danny Ketch figure is really nice. Don't be fooled. I would say it's not undersized, just only when you compare it to Johnny Blaze. Really nice figure. Very happy to have it. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of it? Is it one that you've already picked up, or are you looking to pick up? I highly recommend. Links in the video description below to order it at either Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or Entertainment Earth. Links in the video description below. But you guys let me know all of your thoughts there. Is he replacing your Johnny Blaze, or are you putting Danny Ketch in there and keeping just him? Get rid of Johnny Blaze. You can have both your Ghost Riders. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.